If you could write a letter to heaven, what would you say? Who would you want to talk to? And how would the conversation go? Do you think that they hear us when we're writing letters to heaven? Do you think that God hears us, the angels hear us, our guides, our angels? Do you think your family members who've crossed to the other side hear you? Well, we're going to say that they do, because it's amazing how they manage to give us a sign and show us how much they really care. But tonight we're writing to God. We're writing to all the heavens for all to hear. So let's begin. Perhaps you, if you're not driving, want to take out a piece of paper and write your letter to God. Write your letter to the heavens and let everyone know just how much you appreciate all that you have and where you are. And if you were to write a letter to God, besides saying thank you, what else would you want to know? Well, we have the attention of the heavens, and we so want you to receive your reply. So we're going to start to send it out into the energy, because I know that they, the universe, all that resides on the other side, they'll do everything they can to get a message to you. You see, we're never alone. We are always protected, and they use different means to show us that they're with us. Perhaps you see a butterfly. Perhaps you see a dragonfly. Perhaps you find feathers in bizarre, obscure places that they couldn't possibly be. Perhaps a bird begins to soar around you and then pose and almost have a conversation with you. Never moving, never wavering, just sitting there with you. What are you seeing from your loved ones on the other side? Do they send you messages? Are the lights flickering? Ooh, it's a little scary. Are you feeling the energy of someone in the room with you? Maybe, just maybe. Take a deep breath. Oh, yes. That smells like Grandma's perfume. Chanel number 5. Yes, they are giving us signs wherever they are. Maybe there's a scent of fragrance of an old cigar in the corner of your room, but nobody in your house smokes a cigar. Maybe your angels are sending you numbered messages. You're seeing 1111, 444, 333. Maybe repetitive numbers are appearing before you, 123 or 1121, and you think to yourself, what does that mean? And then we have to ask ourselves, what were you thinking? What were you feeling? How were you experiencing the energy? What was going on? Because it's what's going on within you that really determines how well they can connect with us. Because if you are all wound up, they can't get a word in edgewise. Still caught up in the little problems of the world, like a dog chasing your tail, not sure what to do. This is our time. This is our time as we come out of this quiet time. And we need to sit back and relax. And that we need to really tune up and turn on our spiritual Wi-Fi, because it's time for you to be talking to heaven. So did you get out your paper and your pen? Have you begun to write? Let's write together. Dear God, it's me. It's us. You know, the collective consciousness, all of us on the planet. We're sitting here going through a major change, and some of us are feeling really uncomfortable. God, sometimes we don't know what to do. People are beginning to kind of act up, lose their minds. They're not feeling comfortable. There's an energy of angst and discomfort in the energy around everyone right now. We're really uncertain what to do. We thought we were flying high in the world. Matter of fact, things were going pretty good. We were watching our stocks rise. We were exploring our businesses, our marketing. We were having new jobs and new opportunities. We were expanding our homes and our families. We were riding high on the hog. We were traveling from place to place, jumping on planes, taking a cruise. Yeah, maybe we maxed out a few credit cards, but God, we were having a really good time. God, we're not quite sure what happened. We don't even know what to believe anymore. There's so many stories going on. It's a wonder we even think we know who we are. But the one thing that we're holding on to, the one thing that we really pray our mother and father and our grandparents were right about, oh Lord, is that you're really there, God, and there really is a God. Because God, we could really use you now. You know, the other day, I was so saddened to hear of some of the horrific things that happened. One of them happened in my very own hometown, my neighborhood grocery store, where I go almost every day, sometimes at 10 o'clock at night. But this was at 10:30 or so in the morning. Something just unforeseen happened, God. And we're all scratching our heads, wondering, how could this be? How could all of us who came here to share the planet together be in such misery that we would take it out on another? And how could we, as a high divine being created by you in your own image, be capable of such things? And how could fear be running so rampant? And how can we not know what the right thing to do is anymore? And tell me, God, how could it be that as families that sit across at the dinner table, we can't even agree on who to vote for anymore and agree to disagree? We all seem kind of revved up. It's really been a rocky few years. I know. I kind of read that book. You know that book, God, that talks about the last days? Holy crow. This better not be the last days, because I'm not ready. I think a lot of us aren't ready. We're kind of looking at, I don't know, things that are bigger than life all of a sudden. People we thought had jobs that would never change, those jobs are gone. People we thought were resilient and healthy, they were the most healthy people we knew. They were gone in just a few days. People that did everything right have everything wrong happening. So I got to ask God, why do bad things happen to good people? Why is it that some of the people who are following the rules still can't catch a break? And I'm not talking man's rules. I'm talking about your rules. You know those rules in the book? There's 10 big ones. And most of us have them memorized from grammar school. And we're seeing all of these thou shalt nots happening all around us. Maybe we got a little too big for our britches, God. I know. Maybe we got carried away in the ways of the world. We thought a little too much about that next vacation, or how much money we made, or how much fame we had, or how beautiful we could make ourselves by just buying all the latest products or putting all the latest products in our bodies and just making sure we were glam fabulous. So would that be part of the greed category, God? Would that be vanity? Or would the fact that we got too big for our britches in some ways mean that we set ourselves up for this? That our egos and our minds were running the show and we didn't stop to listen to our heart? Could that be, God? But God, a lot of us, we pray every day. We meditate. Hey, listen, since 2012, we're in the age of we're being spiritual, God. So in this age of being spiritual, did we lose something? Are we missing something? Are we just going through motions and we don't really know what we're doing? Are we opening up doorways that maybe we shouldn't open up? Are we thinking too much? Worrying too much? Are we undoing our prayers by the words that we say, not an hour later, after we do our prayers of gratitude and joy and harmony and pray for the world? And then an hour later, we're worrying or distrustful or at the throat of a coworker. I don't know, God. But we're all feeling something, God. So I sat and I thought long and hard about this. And then I prayed for a while. And I had to shut myself down. You know, sometimes people don't appreciate when you shut yourself down. But you have to shut yourself down because, listen, I know you're my boss because I get to work for you every day. But there's a lot of people who aren't realizing that you're in charge no matter what happens. But the weight is getting strong and heavy. And everyone's feeling it. And sometimes the fact that when we're connected to you, when we're really connected, we can not just feel all the beauty that is you, but we can also feel all the chatter that is the world. And the world's hurting right now, God. We're trying to find joy and happiness. And now we're trying to distract ourselves all over again. Yay, we can go somewhere. But are we really in gratitude? I know everyone's got their path, God, and I know you're having conversations with them every day. But God, we could really use, well, maybe we need a miracle. We need a revelation. We don't want to be in the days of revelations. We just need a revelation. We need everyone on the earth to just stop for a minute and feel you, feel your presence. And for you to just give those who don't have hope a reason to find the light of hope. Because there are so many people who are feeling hopeless right now. Some people's health is just deteriorating and they don't know what to do. You know, we've got some systems in place, God, but sometimes they don't offer everything that we think we need to be okay. We've got people financially struggling. We've got children who are out of the sync of life and they're struggling. They're not having fun like they used to. We've got parents who are really wondering, kind of like those days we read about in the history books, how they're going to put food on the table. We've got businesses that they're struggling, God. And we've got a lot of people who are losing faith in other people. We're forgetting that we're each created equal in your eyes. And instead of showing love, God, we're showing horrific things. And I can feel it, God. I can feel it because every time I pray, I can feel the weight. I can feel that people's minds are focused on everything that's wrong, that someone else is doing. They're not in their own backyards cleaning up their own mess. And everyone's blaming everybody. Welcome to the blame game here on planet Earth, God. So, dear God, many of our listeners tonight, they're writing their letters now. And there's some who need some miracles. So I hope you don't judge us by the group. That you stand in front of each one of us and recognize who we are. And that the beauty inside of us is a product of you. I know you promised to, but we're feeling a little sketchy right now, God. Not an easy time. Things are kind of coming out of the woodworks all at once. We've got this thing going on in part of the country. In America, the cicadas are coming up. Let me tell you, I'm glad to be here in South Florida because we don't have that, but I heard a story. One of my friends told me that their driveway was covered with them. It makes us think of the last days and the locusts. But we know scientifically it happens every 17 years. I get it. But for a lot of us, things we thought we had buried, our emotions that we never dealt with, our fears, maybe even some of our secrets are coming up to the surface. We don't know how we're going to handle it. It's kind of like the cicadas. And geez, we've been locked up for so long. I guess some things are like the cicadas because I guess it's mating season. But I got to tell you, God, it's not an easy ride. So talk to us. Let us know that our loved ones who passed so horrifically in some of these recent shootings, just let us know they're okay. And our loved ones who died from a disease that nobody saw coming. Oh, right. I know. Sylvia Brown predicted it. Nostradamus. I know. But who was reading then? We weren't paying attention. But here we are in the tail end of a pandemic, wondering what's going to hit us next, God. We're all feeling a little off balance. So before we begin to ignore what's going on and drive ourselves back to distraction and lose ourselves in this, all the world is a stage, help us find our way back to our hearts. Help us have compassion for each other and lend a hand to each other. Remind us that you're here. Give us the recommendations of beauty everywhere we look so we don't focus on what is wrong in the world, but we see the beauty. Every flower represents you. Every animal, every tree, every person represents you. So if the person's not dressed well and they're on the street begging, why do we have to wonder how they got there and what they must have done wrong? Why can't we just love them and give them compassion? And help us recognize when people are suffering so much and they're out of control that we can do something to help make a difference before it hurts other people. I know we've been kind of taught to kind of stick to ourselves and not put our business in anything else. But is that what you really want? God, we really need you. And I know you gave us all the tools we need. We come packed with a survival kit. I got the memo. There's this whole toolbox of great things that you've given us and a beautiful world. And you gave each one of us gifts so that we could survive and so that we could thrive and we could enjoy our lives, God. You gave us some of the most magnificent things to cherish. We weren't paying attention. So could we have a little reset of our own? Not the reset they're talking about in the world. I don't even know what they're talking about. They think they know. But only you know the truth. Only you know the answer. And only you know the plan. And I know. Stand-up comic that you are, God. God laughs at he who has plans. So you're laughing. You really set this up pretty well. To watch us all run around, well, what are we going to do? And all we needed to do was turn to you, God. And be in gratitude. And stand in the energy of love. And trust that even though the days may seem dark, that the light's going to come. And that you're always there. So whatever the letters say from everyone that sends them to you, I hope you're listening. And I hope you send an angel, an army of angels to everyone who writes you a letter. And we're a little thick here on planet Earth, so knock us on the head a little and make sure we understand the sign that you give us. Don't leave too much to gray area of interpretation because we're a little tired and worn. Remember, the garden when Jesus said, I'm tired and weary? We're kind of feeling that way. We've had, 15 months of Jesus in the garden, quite frankly. So it hasn't been easy. And maybe we did part of this to ourselves. But we're going to learn. You gave us this opportunity to learn and grow. But if you could have a little mercy and help us understand and help us find a better way to do it, then I know all of us me, and everyone listening, the collective energy, will be most grateful. Well, God, that's my letter for now. I really, really hope you shine the light on us. And I really trust that there's a greater plan than what we've seen unfold. Thanks, God, for listening. We love you.